Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Cancer December 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as December goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 21st. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a very strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on work, employment, health, even pets, the daily routine, service you may render to others. It could be, and also an aunt or an uncle as well, and even hygiene. Now, given this is Sagittarius energy, this could be done with a lot of Sagittarius like exuberance, expansiveness, enthusiasm, ebullience, a lot of effervescence and joy, and jocularity, a lot of optimism, and really in being very philosophical, as yes, you might be incorporating more of your philosophical thoughts into your daily routine at this time. And also, too, on the negative side, though, remember in Sagittarius energy could even, be some of these things may be handled with a lot of self-righteous, foolhardy, and even reckless energy. So, just be careful that you're going to be during the time, if you're employed and you're at work, that you don't overdo it. This could be a lot of over-optimism. And even if you're doing something health-wise, say you're trying to you're working out vigorously and you're doing some bench pressing, trying to lift an inordinate amount of weight or something you're not accustomed to, be very careful, because it's good to be optimistic, but not to the point where it's unrealistic, and you may overshoot your mark and face some repercussions and health issues because of this, spraining something or what have you, or whatever it may be. So anyway, next thing up, as far as December goes, the Sun will be in Capricorn from the 21st until the 31st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong power of concentration, focus, and attention on relationships, partnerships, competition, open adversaries, negotiation, compromise, the marriage partner, significant other, even a grandmother, and also legal issues at this time. Now, given this is Capricorn energy, this may be done very regimented, consistent, methodical, very orthodox fashion, but also with a lot of prudence and a lot of caution and a lot of premeditative and planning energy, and also in a very organized and consistent manner, done with a lot of serious energy and very professional. Remember, too, that Capricorn energy, though, could be somewhat negative and pessimistic, so it's important to remember to try to keep a certain amount of enthusiasm, even though the Sagittarius Sun, Sagittarius energy may be gone. Just keep in mind that you don't become overly melancholy or despondent over these other seventh house matters, and not having the confidence or what have you to deal with those 7th house matters. Just try to use that Capricorn responsibility and good planning as far as those things go. And this could also shine the light on a Capricorn open adversary. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. And I want to rewind a moment, people. I was talking about the Sun in Sagittarius before, and the 6th house being emphasized and highlighted. I also wanted to say, as far as that goes, that during that time the light may be shined, so to speak, on a Sagittarius health-related issue. It could be something with the hips area, or the sciatic nerve, or something, anything that could be Sagittarius related. So anyway, those are some things to look at. The thighs, perhaps, as far as Sagittarius energy goes. So anyway, next thing up is there will be a new moon in Sagittarius on December 7th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, Well, in some cases, this could reflect a new Sagittarius type employment or job. It could be something with sports, religion, philosophy, translation, some kind of interpretation, doing some kind of work with foreigners. Perhaps in some cases, this could be a new Sagittarius health-related issue, especially say if this makes an inconjunct to the Ascendant. In the actual natal chart of a person, and depending on other aspects, perhaps an adverse aspect to your natal Saturn could be perhaps another indicator which could give a greater propensity for this. It could be something connected with the liver, sciatic nerve, hips, something that could be Sagittarius related. Also, you might start a new health regime done with a lot of Sagittarius, like exuberance, enthusiasm, and expansive energy, done very positively. It could be, it could be something really sports related. It could even be just working out vigorously or doing something in the outdoors. It could be some kind of running or jogging or something like that. So also, too, it could be a period where you start to incorporate something Sagittarius related into the daily routine, sports, the outdoors, religion, philosophy, and really, and maybe just simply more optimism. And really also, too, it could be maybe an introduction, maybe a new Sagittarius, an aunt. At this time, or an uncle perhaps. It could be an actual Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Sagittarius-like characteristics. And it also could be, you might be beginning, again, doing just really, again, looking at this could be something where you're just really, like I said, incorporating a lot more positive energy into the daily routine, a lot of jocularity and joviality into that. Anyway, next thing up, there will be a full moon in Cancer on December 22nd. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Cancer, sorry, not the 7th house, the 1st house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. So this could be a time for you, Cancer, where you may simply become tired, exasperated, full, perhaps of a somebody. It could be from your early childhood that may be rather temperamental, emotional, sensitive, moody, vulnerable, clingy, needy. It could be a time where you might have enough of this person and maybe end, pretty much complete that relation and eradicate that connection with that person. And it could also be something where, when you're talking about the full moon, this could be a revelation or unveiling. It could be something connected with the physical body, especially if this is actually in the literal 1st house of one's natal chart. It could be something with the breast, the chest, the stomach. It could be some kind of revelation or unveiling that might be connected with your safety and security and on a real personal level. Since we are talking about the 1st house, it could be maybe some kind of danger in your community. Let's say if this is making an adverse aspect to your natal Pluto, it could be something where it's something of a criminal, nefarious nature, or something in your area where you become a lot more leery. It could be some kind of crime escalation or something that you're concerned with, or it could be someone in the, some shady person in the neighborhood where what's causing more fear and apprehension. Another thing too, another way that this may manifest. This could be again, the end of a Cancerian early childhood connection. And also, too, remember that this is about something that could lead to a new beginning, the end of something. When you're talking about, it's a little paradoxical. When you have the full moon in the 1st house, okay, the full moon can be about endings and culmination and completion of something. But the 1st house is about new beginnings. I think a lot of times this can manifest when this happens is that you have a completion or ending of something. In this case, it could be something from your early childhood. It could be the end, maybe a Cancer-like situation, maybe with your zodiac sign. It could be maybe something with the physical body. And it may be what it does is it allows you to put that full emotional, tenacious Cancer nurturing energy into a new Cancerian-like beginning, such as something with maybe starting some kind of cooking position, restaurant work. It could be an at-home type business, doing something where you collaborate maybe with family members, some home renovation or repair. So anyway, next thing up. Mercury will be in Scorpio. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. Sorry about that again. Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as December goes from the 1st until the 12th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this may manifest in having a very provocative, probing, deep, incisive communications with children, romantic partners. It could be looking deeply mentally into things of a speculative nature. Your mind might be very investigative about these things, and thinking deeply about those investments, perhaps those things that you may want to invest in. Now, also, too, it could be a lot of thinking about maybe making a transformation, maybe through something sports related. It could be through working out, something where you feel it's going to make a major change somehow in you, perhaps as a person or what have you. And also it may even impact your personal popularity. Now, also, too, this could be, again, thinking deeply over a speculative gambling matter, and also be guarded against very fixated and obsessive thinking on speculative matters or lovers or children at this time. Now, again, as I've talked about previously, Mercury can also be about siblings. So it could be where Scorpio siblings, they could be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics might figure prominently in your enjoyment, your personal popularity. And it could be also, too, where you might find yourself talking more about Scorpio like things such as astrology, the occult, supernatural, investigation, forensics, transformation, psychology. You may be doing this, talking about this with lovers, with children. It could be people that you maybe know well in some kind of hobby or a creative endeavor or thing of amusement. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Sagittarius as far as December goes, from the 12th until the 31st. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be a time where, you may be having a lot of very philosophical, blunt, veritable, I call discussions, very voracious discussions with an aunt, an uncle. It could be a fellow employee, a person maybe in your daily routine, a doctor, a physician. And also this could manifest perhaps in incorporating sports, religious, philosophical conversations into the daily routine. Also, remember, as I've stated previously, that Mercury can also be about siblings. Sagittarius siblings, they could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, may figure more prominently in your daily routine, your health, your work life. They also, sadly, may be a cause for more worry or might help you with worry matters. We're talking about Sagittarius, the sign of hope and good luck and optimism, so maybe this could actually be beneficial to some degree. Also about more contemplating regarding maybe doing service for others with a lot of exuberance and enthusiastic Sagittarius energy, or something Sagittarius related in the daily routine such as sports. Now, another thing to keep in mind is that Mercury also is connected, with the hands, and in something where, given that this is the 6th house safe, especially if this is making an inconjunct to your actual natal ascendant, it could be something where you may have some issues at this time with the hands. It could be doing something that may have been sports related that you can have could cause perhaps some kind of injury. And also, too, remember, remember that Mercury is also associated with breathing as well. So if you're having this making an inconjunct to the ascendant, and depending on perhaps on other aspects this may make to other points in your natal chart, it could be some kind of breathing issues at this time as well. And given its Sagittarius energy, remember that it probably likely would not be on a small scale. So those are some things to look at as far as this goes. Next thing up, Venus will be in Scorpio for the majority of the month. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. This may manifest perhaps in a lot of enjoyment of Scorpio-like things with children and lovers. It could be the astrology, the occult supernatural, doing something with the Ouija board. It could be playing Scorpio-like games such as Law and Order, SVU, any other mystery game. It could be playing Clue. Also, too, this could be about valuing secrecy and privacy in things of a speculative nature, if there's gambling or any other speculative thing going on, investments. And also, too, another way this may pan out, this could be about valuing and enjoying deep romantic encounters and interludes at this time, ones that may not really be that superficial, even though we're talking about the 5th house. Keep in mind Venus is in Scorpio, so that does modify that, and there might be more of a need for a deeper connection at this time. Now, also too, this could also manifest perhaps in Scorpio relationships. They could be Scorpio Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics that may figure more prominently in your fun, your amusement, your enjoyment, and perhaps even play a role in your personal popularity. You might find yourself spending money perhaps to transform maybe the lives of lovers and children, and maybe even your own romantic life if you are unattached at this time. So anyway, and also valuing perhaps a very deep and I call a non-superficial relationship with a lover at this time, and also going through subterfuge and superficiality with one as well perhaps. So anyway, and even a child. Next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself at this time becoming somewhat angry or acrimonious, connected with deceptive, duplicitous, indolent, apathetic. It could be an in-law, a grandchild at this time, maybe someone you know at a religious congregation you go to, or some college, university. And also, be careful when you're talking about Mars in Pisces. This could be about a lot of confused, chaotic, and I call directionless energy. You might find yourself going in many different directions, swimming around like a fish in 9th house matters such as, religion. It could be where you're going from one congregation to the next, or you're trying to make up your mind regarding one philosophy. It could be a religion, or what you're going to do in regards maybe to publishing or making a selection with higher education. Now, another thing too is like when you're talking about Mars and this Pisces energy, you might feel more like putting energy into fantasizing, loafing, relaxing, as opposed to doing 9th house related matters such as maybe traveling abroad or doing publishing, or if you're in school doing things connected with higher education. It might be a time where you may attempt, if you're unattached, especially at this time Cancer, that you may attempt to fulfill a sexual fantasy, perhaps with a foreigner, or it could be through traveling abroad, someone you may know at some college, university at this time. So anyway, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, as I've talked about previously, is that Jupiter can be, of course, very paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have the tendency to enlarge and expand. And it may expand and enlarge Sagittarius health issues, such as something with the thighs, the liver, the sciatic nerve, perhaps. And also, too, you're talking about, I mean, this could be very fortuitous in terms of maybe incorporating jocularity and really optimism in your daily routine, and very positive, perhaps for maybe doing things that are sports related and athletics that really could be very auspicious for your health. And again, as far as expanding goes, on a negative side, it could expand self-righteous, reckless, foolhardy, over-optimistic, even tactless energy in matters connected with an aunt or uncle or someone in your daily routine. It could be someone prominent in your health life and even in health-related matters at this time. So just remember, it's really about Sagittarius energy. Can be very large, very exorbitant. You might, it's a Jupiter and Sagittarius can produce a lot of optimism, but sometimes over-optimism. So again, as I've stated previously, be very careful in terms of if you're doing something, say, sports-related, not to overdo it at this time, and especially if this is making it inconjunct to your actual ascendant, something work-related where you might be putting so much all this enlarged enthusiasm and exuberance in what you're doing, you might wind up overdoing it and can come to even some kind of overexertion, I would say, as well. So anyway, hold on a moment again, people. Sorry about that. Anyway, next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Cancer, you might find yourself dealing with certain restrictions and limitations and matters with your relationships, your partnership situation. It might be where you might be taking care of a debilitated or sickly, it could be a significant other, a grandmother even, someone maybe you know well in a business partnership, perhaps. This could be, and it might be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and it might be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy. Now, also, at the same time, this could give structure and discipline to your relationships. And that being said, it could be taking responsibility maybe into some kind of competition. And I mean, it might be some kind of, it might even be a business, something where you're maybe going at it with a business competitor at this time, Cancer, and even dealing, perhaps taking responsibility, serious responsibilities, perhaps with dealing with open adversaries in legal issues at this time as well. Now, Cancer, if you're unattached, you might find yourself maybe connecting with an older significant other at this time. It could even be an older Capricorn. I believe in some cases this may manifest as in that, and could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. What's very interesting is that even though I do believe the actual natal chart is more accurate, as opposed to when you do like a solar sunrise chart. With me, what's interesting is that Saturn right now in what would be in my solar sunrise chart, it would be very close to my 7th house cusp, and I'm experiencing right now all kinds of limitations and restrictions in my relationships. I'm at a point where I have very few friends, and my social life is basically everything but non-existent at this time. So when Saturn is by, especially if it's very close to that 7th house cusp, I mean, it really can cause a lot of despondency in that area of your life, and especially if you're not already attached, it almost adds insult to abject misery. It really causes even more dejection. It's actually, I mean, may not nearly be as bad if you already have somebody and you have a stable connection in your life. But anyway, I just wanted to put that in there. I thought that was interesting. It seemed to be where, I mean, even when you're talking about, like these transits and this energy connected with the solar sunrise chart, they could be, fairly accurate, I believe, as well, but I don't believe as much as an actual natal chart transit. So anyway, next thing up Uranus will be in Aries, so the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, Cancer, you might experience some rather unusual, it could be unpredictable, acrimonious behavior, volatile behavior. It could be from a dominant parent, which is often the father, authority figures, older people in general. It could be people that are prominent in your career. Another way this could manifest, in some cases, it could actually be that Aries friendships, it could be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries-like characteristics might figure prominently in your career. It could be your reputation, public image. It could be just maybe attaining a position of authority, even putting a good word in for you with the right people. This could be, too, some other ways this could manifest as well, is that you may do something Uranus-like. That could be career related. It could be something with innovation, computers, electronics, astrology, aerospace, astronomy, something that could be something Uranus related, and it could happen with this Aries energy blended in. It could be something that could happen very abruptly as well. And really, in using like really innovative, pioneering energy in your career could improve your stature in life, of course, because you can, innovative energy, of course, could wind up generating more income, and you could improve as far as your position in life and where you stack up with others in terms of social status or what have you. And also, you might see more unpredictable behavior again from 10th house people. So anyway, next thing I want to get at is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, in some cases, Cancer, this could be about the dissipation or dissolving. In a lot of cases, perhaps of a connection with an in-law, a grandchild. Be careful at this time, Cancer, that you're not duped by fallacious people in religious congregations, by deceptive, duplicitous people, or even dealing with maybe, say mediums that are, I guess you could say, phony mediums, phony psychics that are frauds. They are I call fallacious mediums that are trying to steer you maybe in a direction in terms of something 9th house related, such as taking a certain higher education course. Something as far as that goes. I mean, it could be, in terms of maybe trying to direct you in terms of traveling abroad, going to a certain country, making any kind of decisions 9th house related. Also, too, this could be about dealing, false prophets, trying to steer you in the wrong direction as far as a 9th house matter goes. And also, too, on a positive end, though, this could be, this could manifest perhaps in doing, taking a higher education course. That could be Neptune related. It could be something connected with chemistry, the metaphysical, pharmaceutical, something with special effects, dancing, poetry. It could be doing something with the metaphysical, which could include astrology, something with spirituality, perhaps something that could be Neptune related. And also you might find yourself taking long journeys by boat or sea at this time. And also just be wary at this time, Cancer, of some kind of false indoctrination, or as I've stated, really about people that are in religious congregations that are fallacious, that are fraudulent. Those are some things to look at as far as this goes. And you might find yourself more fantasizing about certain things 9th house related as opposed to actually doing, such as things with higher education, traveling abroad, doing things with publishing. Oh, and speaking of publishing, you might be doing something Neptune related connected with publishing, such as something with chemistry or poetry. Something, it could be about something with pharmaceutical, related, something connected with the metaphysical, which can include astrology, something that is associated maybe with chemicals or gases, or maybe talking about writing something about drug use, as far as how, for example, how it could be ways it could be detrimental to others, recreational drug use. Dane talking about maybe publishing something connected with gas, some kind of chemicals that are harmful, something that could be Neptune related. Anyway, last but not least, Pluto, of course, will still be in Capricorn, so the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. That in some cases, this could actually manifest an actual death of it could be a grandmother, it could be a significant other, a marriage partner, something that somebody that could be 7th house related. Could be a business partner. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that. I'm back again. It could be the death of an open adversary or legal opponent, not by you. I'm not saying, but just the way it could work out. It could be the actual figurative ending of a legal matter is more likely the case anyway, or it could be a legal battle, or somebody that had been an open adversary at some time. Could be the end of that, whether it could be through some kind of negotiation or compromise where that animosity or what have you might come to an end or might be eradicated. Now, as I've talked about, a little bit ago, is that even though it would be in my, I'm talking about my solar sunrise chart. I think it's interesting, as I've stated before, the natal chart, I think, is obviously more accurate, I believe, than the solar sunrise chart. But when my grandmother died in 2011, it was on my mother's side, and the 7th house represents the grandmother, which is the mother of the less dominant parent, and in most cases that's the mother. And it was my mother's mother that wound up dying, sadly, when transit Pluto actually it was in the 6th house in my solar sunrise chart, but it was making about 2 degrees applying aspect to the 7th house cusp when this happened. So really, and being in Capricorn, interestingly enough, that's kind of like the old man of the zodiac. And basically, I don't remember her exact symptoms, but of course, a lot of it was attributed to old age and her longevity, her time, the fact she was an elderly person. Thought that was very interesting. Now, anyway, getting back to this Pluto and Capricorn's 7th house thing, we're talking about also, you might find yourself going through, an actual eradication or obliteration of a relationship, a significant other situation. But remember that Pluto is also about transformation, and it might be where you might, somebody you might lose in terms of a significant other could be supplanted as far as that goes with someone else. And also at this time as well, it could be that Pluto-like people could be very powerful open adversaries. It could be someone with the supernatural, the occult, astrology. It could even be terrorist people. Now, terrorists are basically open adversaries to many anyway, regardless of what transit is going on. But it could be even more emphasized as far as this goes, because you're talking about Pluto and the 7th house. Pluto can be connected with terrorism, and also could be about competition that's connected with transformation, such as doing something with weightlifting, or you're doing some kind of rebuilding vehicles. It might be a fun competition you may have with somebody, or even recycling, something where you might be trying to recycle more than someone else at a given point in time. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Cancer December 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time, where I'll be giving you my Leo December 2018 horoscope forecast. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.